Hey, Cowboys fans! It's time to break down everything you need to know as we gear up for a big matchup this weekend. This season has been full of ups and downs, and now, looking ahead to the game against the Vikings, there are plenty of storylines to dive into. First off, let's talk about the offense and defense of both teams, because that's where the game will likely be decided. The Cowboys' offense has been a powerhouse this season, consistently putting up points and creating big plays through the air and on the ground. Dak Prescott has been in incredible form, leading the league in passing yards and showing the kind of efficiency and decision-making that any team would want from their quarterback. But despite all of that, there's a problem on the other side of the ball. The Cowboys' defense has struggled in a way that can't be ignored. They rank near the bottom in points allowed, yards per game, and efficiency metrics. Every time they step on the field, there's this sense that if the other team has a competent quarterback, they're in danger of giving up big plays. It's not just about a few bad games here and there. This has been a persistent issue, and it creates a lot of pressure for the offense to perform at an elite level each and every week. Looking over at the Vikings, we see a team with a very different set of challenges. Their offense hasn't been what many expected at the start of the season. They've struggled to find consistency and often fail to capitalize on opportunities, which makes it hard for their defense to carry them. Speaking of defense, Minnesota still ranks among the top units in the league, meaning this will be a real test for the Cowboys' offensive line and Dak Prescott himself. Protecting Dak is going to be absolutely crucial because the Vikings will try every trick in the book to create pressure, confuse the offensive line, and force mistakes. The Cowboys have some young talent up front, which has been exploited at times this season. And if the line can't give Dak time to set up and make his reads, it could spell trouble. There's no question that the matchup of a high-powered offense versus a strong defensive unit is going to be fascinating to watch. But the balance of strengths and weaknesses makes this game intriguing on both sides of the ball. Injuries are always part of the story, and the Cowboys have some key players who may or may not suit up. Tyler Ton's recovery from a high ankle sprain is still being monitored, and whether he's back at full strength will make a difference. CeeDee Lamb had extra time to recover from his concussion, and if he clears protocol, it could give the team an important boost in the passing game. Clowney dealt with a hamstring issue last week and was considered a 50-50 chance to play, so we'll see if he's fully ready for this matchup. Malik Hooker has also been dealing with a lingering problem that limited his snaps last week, and his condition will be something to watch closely because it impacts the defensive rotations. Trayvon Diggs, recovering from a knee injury, might be activated from injured reserve, and his presence on the field would add an extra layer of stability to a unit that has had too many holes this season. The health and availability of these players could very well determine whether the Cowboys' strengths are maximized or undermined. Now, talking about keys to victory for the Cowboys, the first and most important is protecting the quarterback. If Dak Prescott is under constant pressure, if he can't set his feet and go through his reads, it will be almost impossible for the offense to maintain its rhythm. The Vikings will bring creative blitzes, stunts, and disguise coverages to try to force mistakes, and the offensive line needs to stay disciplined and composed. Even one breakdown can lead to a big play for Minnesota, so maintaining protection schemes and communication at the line of scrimmage is vital. The second key is simply improving defensive performance. It doesn't need to be spectacular. It just needs to be competent. Allowing 35 points per game, which has happened far too often this year, is unsustainable. The Cowboys' defense has shown flashes against weaker opponents, but against a quarterback who can make plays when given time, mediocrity will not be enough. Even basic, average efforts that force the opponent to earn every yard would dramatically improve the team's chances of winning. They've struggled with efficiency metrics across the board, including success rate and expected points per play, and those numbers translate directly to field outcomes. Another crucial aspect is Dak Prescott himself. He has been outstanding this season, but he cannot have an off night. A mediocre performance from Dak almost guarantees a loss, given how the defense has struggled. His passing yards, touchdown-to-interception ratio, and efficiency metrics all rank among the league leaders, and keeping up that level of play is essential. He has to consistently make the throws, read the defense correctly, and avoid mistakes under pressure. Confidence in Dak is key, and the offensive scheme must maximize his talents while minimizing unnecessary risk. Supporting him, of course, are the playmakers like George Pickens, who need to rebound from any lackluster performances. Pickens has had games where he left opportunities unclaimed, and this matchup requires him to step up, win his one-on-one battles, and make plays that come his way. The Vikings will present unusual coverages and challenges, so having receivers who can adjust, create separation, and secure critical catches is going to be a major factor. Starting hot and sustaining drives cannot be overlooked either. The Cowboys have had difficulties taking early leads and converting red zone opportunities into points. Even though the offense is among the top 3 in scoring, failing to capitalize on first-quarter chances or leaving points on the board has been a recurring problem. Success in the red zone correlates strongly with wins for this team, and finishing drives with touchdowns rather than field goals or turnovers can make the difference in a tight contest. With the Vikings boasting one of the league's best red zone defenses, every possession counts, and efficiency in scoring opportunities is paramount. As we get ready for this Sunday night showdown, all of these factors, the health of key players, the ability to protect the quarterback, defensive discipline, big play execution, and finishing drives efficiently, will determine whether the Cowboys continue their climb or face another frustrating loss. The matchup between America's team and the Vikings presents a mix of offense versus defense, strengths versus weaknesses, and young talent versus experience. Every play will matter, every decision will be scrutinized, and the pressure to perform is palpable. Fans can expect a high-stakes contest with explosive plays, strategic battles, and moments that could define the season for both squads. Continuing the breakdown, let's focus on the individual matchups that could swing this game in favor of the Cowboys. The offensive line versus the Vikings pass rush is going to be fascinating. The Vikings have shown the ability to bring pressure from multiple angles, often confusing quarterbacks and creating hurried throws. For Dak Prescott, this means staying calm in the pocket, going through his progressions quickly, and trusting his protection. The rookie players on the line, while talented, are still adjusting to the speed and complexity of the NFL, and that experience gap could be exploited if the Vikings dial up the right blitzes. The Cowboys coaching staff will need to be creative in using chip blocks, slide protections, and motion to mitigate the rush. This battle in the trenches will likely dictate whether Dak has time to make his throws and whether the running game can establish a rhythm early. Speaking of the running game, maintaining balance will be essential. Against a strong defensive front like Minnesota's, the Cowboys cannot afford to become one-dimensional. Running the ball effectively forces the defense to respect multiple threats, opens up passing lanes, and keeps the pressure off Dak. When the running backs hit the gaps decisively, it slows down blitzes and allows Prescott more time to operate. Missed assignments, however, can result in negative plays and momentum swings, so execution must be precise. The Vikings' front seven is disciplined and athletic, capable of stuffing the line and creating chaos. But if the Cowboys can establish even modest success on the ground, it could tilt the field position battle significantly. Turning back to the passing game, the Cowboys have to get receivers like George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb fully involved from the first snap. These playmakers are capable of changing the game in a single sequence. Against man-to-man coverage, they must win their matchups decisively, and against zone schemes, they need to find soft spots and exploit them. The timing between Dak and his receivers is crucial, especially when facing disguise coverages and blitz packages that attempt to confuse the quarterback. Quick reads, accurate throws, and the ability to adjust routes on the fly will define how effectively the offense operates. Missed opportunities or slow decision-making could result in stalled drives and wasted possessions, which have been issues at times this season. Defensively, the Cowboys must address the efficiency of the Vikings' playmakers. Limiting explosive plays is a priority because once Minnesota gets into rhythm, they can generate sustained drives that challenge the stamina and focus of the defense. Even if the Cowboys cannot completely shut down the Vikings, forcing third and long situations and keeping the plays in front of them can prevent quick scoring opportunities. Tackling fundamentals will be critical. Missed tackles have contributed to the yardage totals that make this defense appear vulnerable. Containing the quarterback, especially if he attempts to extend plays outside the pocket, will also be essential. The defense doesn't need to dominate, but must avoid catastrophic breakdowns that turn small mistakes into momentum-changing scores. Special teams will also play a subtle, yet significant role. Field position, kickoff returns, and coverage units can influence the game in ways that often go unnoticed, but have measurable impact over the course of 4 quarters. A short punt or a long return can suddenly place the offense in a difficult spot, requiring aggressive play calling under pressure. Conversely, solid coverage and consistent kicking can set up manageable distances and allow the offense to operate with confidence. The Cowboys need every advantage they can get, and attention to detail in these areas could provide critical support to both the offense and defense. Another storyline to watch is the mental side of the game. Starting fast, as we discussed earlier, is crucial. The Cowboys have struggled to take early leads, and that has put unnecessary stress on both units. Building momentum from the first snap, converting early third downs, and finishing drives with points are essential for setting the tone. A sluggish start can allow the Vikings to dictate the pace, control the clock, and force the Cowboys into reactionary mode. Offensive rhythm and defensive focus both rely on confidence and energy early in games, so being sharp from the outset cannot be understated. When looking at Dak Prescott's performance trends, it's clear he has the talent and skill to take over games, but consistency is key. He cannot afford mistakes when the defense is vulnerable. Every throw, every decision, every read is magnified because the margin for error is small. Prescott's ability to anticipate pressure, move within the pocket, and deliver accurate passes under duress will be the measure of whether the Cowboys can convert their high-powered offense into points against a strong defensive opponent. A flawless night from Dak could mask some defensive shortcomings, but even a small dip in performance could be exploited by a disciplined unit like Minnesota's. Receiver execution complements Prescott's play, and players like Pickens and Lamb must create separation, secure contested catches, and convert crucial third downs. The Vikings will likely attempt to disrupt timing, so the chemistry between quarterback and receiver must be precise. Even small mistakes or miscommunications could lead to turnovers or stall drives, and given the strength of the opposing defense, there is little room for error. The ability to adjust routes on the fly and make contested catches under pressure will define the flow of the offense. The defensive front, meanwhile, has to manage the dual threat of the Vikings' running and passing game. Gap discipline, maintaining assignments, and reading the quarterback's intentions are vital to prevent big plays. The linebackers and safeties must communicate effectively to respond to motion, shifts, and misdirection. Preventing explosive plays and controlling the line of scrimmage will help the Cowboys stay competitive even if the defensive line cannot dominate every snap. Limiting third-and-short conversions and forcing field goal attempts rather than touchdowns will be the incremental strategies that can add up to a win. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The Dallas Cowboys appear to be stirring the league's rumor mill once again, and this time the noise is growing louder by the hour. According to whispers echoing through front office corridors, the team has reportedly reached an agreement with safety Talanoa Hufanga, an unexpected twist that has fans buzzing and rival executives raising eyebrows. Nothing is official, nothing is confirmed, yet the chatter has taken on a life of its own, the kind of that tends not to vanish without leaving a trace. Hufanga, known for his instinct-driven play and punishing physicality, has long been admired for the way he seems to read an offense before the ball is even snapped. If the murmurs are true, the Cowboys may be looking to anchor their secondary with a defender capable of shifting momentum in a single snap. Some insiders claim the team has been quietly pursuing a move of this nature for weeks, working behind the scenes to secure a player who brings both grit and versatility to the back end of the defense. What's fueling the speculation even more is the tone around the organization. People close to the team speak of a renewed urgency within the coaching staff, a desire to reinforce the defense with a presence that can dictate the emotional tempo of a game. Hufanga fits that mold. Fiery, unpredictable, disruptive. Though no one will go on record, the environment around the facility feels charged, as if everyone knows something they cannot quite say aloud. There's also a growing sense that the Cowboys are sending a message to the rest of the conference. Bringing in a player with Hufanga's profile would signal an intent to toughen their identity, leaning into a defense-first approach that has been hinted at but seldom fully embraced. Whether this rumored signing becomes reality or fades into the ether of off-season talk, it has already ignited debates on sports radio, sparked countless fan theories online, and left the league wondering just how bold Dallas is prepared to be. For now, all that exists is speculation, persistent, unrelenting, and impossible to ignore. The Cowboys may not be ready to speak publicly, but the rumor has made its way into every corner of the football world, and it shows no sign of slowing down. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.